Hi everyone!
Hello.
We are here, me, Hazal, and Khari,
I'm Khari.
and we are going to do a great session with you today to do an awards showcase. And it will be very nice to recognize all of the great submissions we received for our VM challenge. And we are also going to have our CEO, Eliot, come join us in a bit. And he's going to talk to us about the VM developer community and how this challenge was informative for all of us, and some other brief remarks that he wants to talk about. And you will have time to do some Q&A. I want to start with some recap of what the challenge was and what the prizes were available, and then we can have Eliot speak to all of us. So the challenge was a 6-week challenge to add AI to any of the devices that you have. This could be a laptop, like a MacBook. This could be a Raspberry Pi. This could be a home assistant or like any IoT device that you already own. And the goal was to add artificial intelligence to make it smarter. The artificial intelligence part could be either machine learning. You could train your own model. You could find a model and add to your device. It could be audio, so you could do generative audio. You could do large language models. So anything that's within the artificial intelligence space, you could add to your device.
Yeah, and I honestly was really impressed with some of the submissions that we saw. I work in computer vision, CV as I call it, and I am very proud to say that there were a lot of really excellent CV submissions. So if you, if that was you, shout out to you. If it wasn't you, shout out to you anyway. But I was really nice. I think I saw some really cool applications of how you could use CV. And I'm excited to talk about them and kind of get into it a little bit.
Yeah, we had over like 200 registrants and a lot of very, very great submissions. So it was really hard to be on the panel and like judge all of the projects because we had to do a lot of back and forth in terms of deciding who's winning what. And it was just awesome to see the contributions from our community, because without you, this project wouldn't be as good as it was. And this was our first time doing a community challenge, so I really appreciated seeing everybody's attendance to our guided challenge, like guided sessions for the challenge, but also like seeing everybody on Discord helping each other out and just seeing the great vibe of the community come together.
Yeah, you guys should kind of honestly be really proud of yourselves. I really liked. I had a good time judging, which I was not sure would happen, and I'm very happy that it did happen. So.
Yeah. Just to highlight the prizes, so the first place will get $2,000 VM swag and the VM rover, and the second place will get $1,000 VM swag and rover, and then the 3 runner-ups, so the third place, fourth place, and fifth place will get $200 as well as the swag and rover. So as we announced, we are gonna go from descending order, so like the fifth place first to the first place, and we invited like rest of the community to join so that we can briefly talk about each of the projects, and then we can give space for everybody for Q&A and just share your general experience with us throughout. I think Eliot is coming. Cool. Clap, clap, clap.
We're clapping. We're
Hello.
Very cool. You sit. Have a seat.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. I briefly introduced the prizes and just general challenge information, and we are ready for your briefs.
Great. Well, thanks everyone, and thanks everyone for coming today, and also for everyone who entered the contest. And hello, people are saying hello.
Yeah.
When we started VM, we really were excited because it was all about solving actual problems and actual things that like were frustrating me in the real world. And so I love this contest because it's people actually trying to solve problems in the real world that they actually care about. And if you look at a bunch of the submissions, it's like, oh, these are real problems that they actually want to solve for legitimate reasons, not just to win, a prize. And that is sort of the whole point, right? The whole point is to make it easy for people to actually go ahead and build things that have an impact on their lives, on their friends' lives, and other people's lives. And these are devices that live in the real world that make things a little bit better, whether there's big things like climate change or feeding cats, which is one of the things that I do. And I feed my cats, and I do a demo of me feeding my cats.
It's important
all the time. Oh, it's very important because then they go crazy and get really mad if I don't feed them. So I do, for a different day, I need to do a contest for someone to build a wet cat food feeder. That's hard. You got to kill it.
Details are important.
Anyway, I was incredibly happy with the number of submissions. I think there's a lot of super creative, practical, legitimate problems. Lots of new things that we learned about what people can do with Viam, lots of new features that we want to add based on feedback and based on things we learned about how people were able to use the platform. And I think once again, this sort of shows the power of platforms that give engineers tools. Everything that we do and that we can accomplish as a company here is only as interesting as the projects people build on top of it. Right? If we build a cool platform and people don't do things on top of it that are interesting, then we've actually accomplished nothing. Right? So everything we do is to empower people like you to actually go and bring cool ideas to life. And so it's always very exciting when people actually go and do that.
They did.
And so before we go and announce the winners, I'd love to open it up to questions and see if anyone wants to chat about anything or ask some really tough and hard-hitting questions.
I do have a question to start with. What would be your ideal VM project, like a dream VM project of how you see people using VM?
There's so many. Besides feeding my cats wet cat food, because that's clearly the most. Because wet cat food feeding definitely that's a pretty important one. I still love everything related to cleaning and climate change. So, for example, as I'm on the water a lot, I love being in the water. I would still love really cheap and effective, ocean, river pollution cleaning devices. There are definitely experiments out there, but nothing that has been deployed at scale because of just cost and management. So that's a big one for me. I've talked about this one a lot. I still want pothole filling robots. Mm-hmm. So that's another one I'd really like. Those are definitely some of my favorite ones.
That's weird.
We did receive a question. What is your favorite thing you have hacked using VM?
My favorite. So a couple of my favorites. One is my cat food feeder is great and it works really well. I do a lot of stuff again on the water, and so we've been able to use VM a lot on a lot of marine projects, including a project we're working on to use technology and VM to find whales so that boats don't hit whales or other obstacles when they're moving around. And that one I'm very excited about.
Nice. Do you make a distinction between automation versus robotics? I'm just kind of asking some of these questions that we have here.
I don't. I think the line is very fuzzy. We've always said that VM is for anything with sensors and some compute and some actuators, right? So I think automation and robotics tends to be what the machine looks like, which is sort of a silly distinction, and also maybe how many actuators and how many sensors there are. Robots tend to have more actuators and more sensors, but it's completely fuzzy. So in my opinion, there's not really a big difference. And there shouldn't be.
Shahadi is asking, does VM mostly concentrate on individual developer or are there some back-to-back clients as well? B2B.
Definitely both. I think we actually focus on the extremes a lot with individual developers or teams of developers who are building new things, and then larger companies that have a lot of engineers working on much bigger projects. We will be announcing, we have to talk some about our larger B2B clients soon, but like big oil and gas companies that are doing interesting things with climate research and climate change, through big marine companies doing things about, again, these whale projects. So lots and lots of interesting things on both of them.
Okay, we'll get to this one. Love the end-to-end capabilities of the ML training to even be able to bounding box and label data sets that you have made. What features are you looking to add to specifically next? To that specifically next.
Yeah, so it's a great question. So one of the things, for example, we want to do on the end-to-end computer vision sections, as you're talking about bounding boxes, is increasing the number of ways you can build models and the kinds of models you can build. Right. So right now it's all TF Lite, being able to build a full TensorFlow models, custom TensorFlow models, custom training scripts, and make it a lot more flexible about how you can take your labeled data sets and turn them into models. So right now we can deploy a lot of different kinds of models. You can deploy a TensorFlow models, for example, but you can't build them directly in the system. So things like that are coming pretty soon.
It's awesome. Joyce is asking, besides cats, who and what industries can be most benefit from this kind of automation? Dogs.
Yeah. So besides pets, no, like I think it's all industries. When we talk to people, we talk to people. It's everything from civic stuff, cleaning oceans, things like that, through things at home, whether it's more smart home things, to, we've got clients using things like making, in the food automation, right? One of the things we care a lot about is higher quality food at more reasonable cost. And that could be everything from, we've got a client who does salad making, so you can have more cost-effective salads for people. Then we want to bring that into sort of more food making and even farming, so that you can have locally grown, high-end produce that is available to everyone. Supply chains is another thing where, I'm a big believer, just like for food, anything with shorter supply chains, right? 3D printing was supposed to sort of bring in a much shorter supply chain kind of world. And I think that's sort of a piece of the puzzle. But I think automation can completely change the way we think about turning raw material into produced goods locally. Right, that has huge implications for sort of convenience for people. It also has huge implications for climate, because if you don't have to make things and ship them around the world, you will use a lot less carbon trying to ship things around the world if you can make them locally. So all sorts of things like that.
That's awesome. I think we had one more question. We already went through that. Any other questions you would like Eliot to answer before we go to our winners?
Time for some winners.
Great. All right. Well, thanks everyone for participating, and I'm really excited about everything that was produced.
One last question. Erin is asking, where do you see the next big breakthrough in robotics, and how does VM fit into this breakthrough? Yeah.
So it's actually interesting. I would say the next big breakthrough is actually realizing that there doesn't have to be a breakthrough. And so what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, I think when people think about a big breakthrough in robotics, they're thinking about some big new model or some new hardware that's going to unlock all sorts of interesting potential. So let's take the pothole filling robot, for example. I think the breakthrough is people realizing that the way to start is by not doing something super fancy and robotic, but like a simple, rover that has that stuff that melts into roads.
Asphalt,
thank you. Asphalt in it that, is remote controllable. So someone could be literally sitting in an office somewhere in the world, driving a robot around somewhere else in the world, finding potholes and then filling them. And they're going to just drive it around like a video game and fixing potholes. Then we take all the data from that, turn that into models so that one person, rather than driving one robot around, can manage 2 robots or 10 robots. And then maybe eventually you get one person managing 100 robots or 1,000. But even if it doesn't ever get fully automated, it doesn't really have to. And then the breakthrough is realizing that by using technology available now, including in VM, to do that, you can solve real world problems much faster without needing a lot of scientific breakthrough. So it's actually more of a cultural and sort of like getting people to actually start and try it. Right. And that's a big reason why we did this contest, because we want people to be like, oh, look, we don't need a new cool thing to do it. We can actually take the things we have today and do really interesting things now. And that's sort of a meta breakthrough, but I think that's actually the most important breakthrough.
Nice. No, I agree. Love that.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Cool.
Cool. Let me
Scoot up in
scoot
here.
up, scoot up.
He's waving goodbye.
Someone said brilliant, thank you. So that could be our goodbye. And now we can start reviewing the top projects. So again, I said we are going to be going from the descending order. So the first person we're going to talk about is going to be the fifth winner. So fifth entry.
Okay, so we're going to do a drum roll thing. Drum roll. The LLM personal assistant using Gemini API and VM by Saikot. Yes, claps.
So we really, really love this project because we like using large language models with like very small devices. Our team, actually, the developer advocacy team, built a bunch of projects using this concept. And it was really nice to see that this got applied in some of the entries that we received. And if you want, we are going to be making a lot of social content about this project, as well as mention it in our blog post, so you will be able to see it. But also, all of these projects got submitted on Instructables and Hackster, so you will go read some more documentation about each of the projects too. Reminder, the fifth place gets $200 and the VM rover, so you will be able to continue building projects using the VM rover, as well as some VM swag, which is great because our in-house designer, Christina, created a bunch of really cool swag for us. So congratulations again. If you're here and if you want to chat briefly about your project or ask us any questions, feel free. Otherwise, we can go to our fourth runner-up.
Should we do a little drum roll?
Drum roll.
Okay, number 4. Boom. The Robo Demo. It was the companion robot for distance runners. This was submitted by a person who does their own distance running. This is Sir Walter Richardson. Congratulations. It's a really kind of cool rover that they were building and developing to run alongside them. It's like a clear, they found the lack, and I kind of really appreciate the fact that it's something that they do. They run, and then they're like, there's no kind of long-lasting robots to do this kind of work, and so I need it, so I will make it. And I think that's kind of, kind of what Eliot is saying. But one of the cool things about VM is that you just build where you are. You build for your environment and your life, and with your needs, and then hopefully the breakthrough is that everybody has their own little breakthroughs, and we just finesse the world that way.
Yeah, I personally really enjoyed this project because I started running in December, and I just ran my half marathon this Sunday, which was very exciting, but also very hard. So it will be really nice to have this device to get some motivation as I finish up my few last miles, because distance running is hard. It's harder than robotics. So
no, I mean, I do robotics and I do not distance run. So
yeah,
that puts you right there.
So
okay.
Again, Sir Walter also received $200 and a rover and VM swag. So congratulations.
Yes.
I hope you're here.
Shout out to Walter Richardson. Okay.
Number 3.
The smart trash system, AI assisted smart trash system.
Okay, Shahadi Nagwib, I hope I'm spelling your name correctly. You also did receive $200 in the VM rover and the swag.
Yes. I thought this was a really cool project. A lot of climate change worthy CV. So what he's doing is he's holding up some type of object, maybe it's like wasted apple or it's a can or whatever, and then the LEDs will light up and it'll tell you what trash can it deserves to be in. And I think that's cool. Look, see, and that's pretty awesome.
What we really loved about this project was the documentation. The video is great. It basically walks through the entire setup of the device, as well as like installing VM server, the code section, and I personally really appreciate it because my day-to-day involves building smart devices and actually documenting and making videos about it. So seeing a very well-documented project was very impressive.
Yeah, that's legit. I like seeing people save the world, or at least try. But overall, we love it. However you
Yeah.
slice it, great projects.
So now we are on our.
We're getting into it now. We're getting
Yeah,
into
now we are getting our
into the runner-up.
$1,000 runner-up, like second place entry.
Okay.
This is going to go to
Betsy, the personal office assistant. Shout out to Yogendran and that group there. They did a really cool job making a very thorough robot. I don't know if anybody's seen the Jetsons. Of course, I'm gonna have to make that comparison. Of course, I'm gonna have to make that comparison. We all know Rosie. I think Rosie is like the go-to idea of what a robot is for some people. It's like a whole generation of people, including myself. And this was Rosie vibes. They had a full screen. They used a very sturdy scuttle. And what they did was that they kind of used a lot of the VM components, a lot of motors involved, base, and they got it to move to a desk and respond to commands that were given by an LLM.
This was very interesting to me because it used a bunch of, again, our developer advocacy projects. One of them was the Tipsy project, which is a delivery robot that's autonomous and comes to you and like gives you a drink. It also uses a lot of our modules from the registry, and I really like the face. And it's very cute and it follows around on the tablet. So I appreciated that there was some personality to the device itself, but it was also solving some real life office problems. And it was also using a lot of the concepts of VM like SLAM and actually navigating around the office and actually delivering to certain places within the office. So it was very nice to see the project come together.
Okay, you need like a longer drum roll before we do this one. Okay, but we should just remind them of the prize, that's all.
So it is going to be $2,000 in gift card and VM Rover and swag.
And swag for the winner. Boom! The Smart Desk Light, the VM Power Smart Desk DEP Force. It's hard to say.
By Davis Halsey Perry. Congratulations.
Yes,
we love this project.
No, we loved it.
I see you in the chat, so I'm glad you're here.
A lot of people are in the chat today. Yes. Yes, this was a really cool project. Basically, the way this worked is that I have a desk at home, a work at home desk that I would actually legitimately would want this for tomorrow. That's why I really like it. And the way it works is that if you're working at this side of your desk, the camera will detect your hands and put the light only on this side of your desk because you don't need the light everywhere. You're not working everywhere. And if you're working over here, it puts the light over here because you don't need the light over here. You're working over here. And I love it.
The documentation was great. I think there was a lot of next steps and how we would improve the project if we had more time and energy and money, which is always great to see. There was a video that shows the lightning in action and actual detections and how it moves around. And we really appreciated the usage of VM and computer vision. Great. We got a comment. Amazing. I now actually have budget to build my dream workshop with VM powered contextual lighting. Of course, was a fun project to actually being able to leverage ML in a project. The personal assistance seen today and the fact I'm getting a Rover too has inspired me to make a little desk pet
assistant. Yeah, shout out Davis. I hope you make that.
Cool.
And when you make that, you send it to us. We want to see it. We want to see what you make. That's a very. Everybody should make their own little assistant. If you don't have an assistant or a smart desk going, what are you even doing? What are you even doing?
I actually built a light inspired project one time too. It was basically when it detects me, it was turning my lights on. And then when I leave in front of my webcam, it was turning my lights off, which I really enjoyed building because I don't have any of the smart home devices. So I don't own an Alexa or anything like that. So building that for my own was very fun. So seeing this project was also very nice because now I see my fellow lightning enthusiasts when it comes to smart devices.
Yes. Really good projects all around. I felt like I was happy to judge. This was really exciting to see. Well, one, just people use the platform that we helped make, and see how well they used it and see how creatively they used it. I know this is some of the things that are real cool and hip. Everybody's on the LLM wave. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice to see how that gets incorporated into VM, and how people do that. That just, everyone should really give themselves a round of applause right now. This is the
Yeah.
time for everyone to clap for themselves. Like, if you, whether you won a prize or not, like, I really think you did a great job. Special shout out to our winners, of course, though. I hope you enjoyed those VM rovers, and the money, of course.
Yeah. Money is secondary, right?
Of course. Who wants money when you can have a VM rover? Okay.
Awesome. So now we have some time for Q&A. You can drop comments, compliments, everything in between. You can ask us questions. You can ask Khari questions about
Yes,
computer vision.
You can.
He has a PhD in computer vision,
You don't
so
have to tell people that.
I do. Why do you become a doctor if you don't want to tell people that you're a doctor? I made him shy.
Yo, okay. Anyway.
Cool. Let's see. We are getting a lot of compliments.
Yeah. Well done, everyone. Great job to all who participated. Trophy emoji, trophy emoji, trophy emojis. I agree to all of these. Just like literally trophy emojis. I would be the kind of person who gives out participation trophies.
What was our favorite moment from the challenge?
Oh, that's a good one. Favorite moment from the challenge. I think I liked some of the creativity of having there was a waffle detecting robot. So when your waffles are done, it pops up. It's like the waffles pop up, and I see the waffles pop up, and I send you a meme, and it's like waffles. Okay. Anyway, it's just I truly believe that not every implementation of robotics should be serious. I think if every implementation of robotics is serious, we live in a horrible world. And so I think things like that just brings the heart warmth.
So like the funny submissions, the
yes, we love
submissions.
those.
Yeah,
if it's a goofy submission, it's like to the top of my heart. To the top of my heart. Okay, your favorite moment.
I think my favorite moment was the last 2 days. So like the weekend before the deadline, I started receiving bunch of submissions, and like that was just a great weekend because like overall obviously the registrations were like pretty well divided into all of the days, but then people started building their projects and like everybody started submitting in the last weekend. So I would just get like ping, ping, ping notifications. And I was like, wow, damn, on Monday, like we have a lot to go through. And like that was very exciting. And I saw some of the New York based like Discord members and community members in like outside, and like they always talked very nice about all of our Discord events and all of the help that they received and just the general structure of the challenge. So it was just nice to see people be happy about the process of the challenge itself too.
Nice. Just like to say, great work on the platform. Love to see a technology like ML be more accessible. Okay. Looking forward to seeing it mature. Thank you. I just touched my little heart because that's the reason I even do any of this. I like for things to be accessible. I want people to be able to access the technology that the rest of the world has access to. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay.
Thanks to Naomi for telling me about this challenge. Has made my year so far. Thank you, Naomi. Naomi's great. Naomi's our head of content and developer content. And she has a bunch of connections within the developer community. So we really appreciated seeing all of your faces. Thanks for the help, Matt. Everyone's getting shout outs.
Yeah, everybody get your shout outs.
Rick is telling you
no.
Very nice things. Doctor.
Rejected.
I really loved seeing like students in the channel, but also like really advanced engineers, like very high up in their careers, but also people who are just starting new and people from all around the country, but also international submissions. It was, I think, a very good diversity of not just technical ability, but also like everything. Most of the times, some of the challenges could be a little scary to people who are beginners, or like could look like it's a waste of time for someone who's like very well deep in their career. But I think this was a nice challenge for people to actually like showcase their talents regardless of technical
Are
ability.
there any plans to improve Betsy from your side?
side?
The answer is obviously yes, actually. In the sense that you have used a lot of components and services. We will be always improving those components and services. Speaking as somebody from on the vision team who works on computer vision, that vision service will be getting better every day. At least every week. So the answer is yes. Slowly and in different parts, in a very clunky way, but in a very beautiful way.
And then I saw that you got inspired by Tipsy. I'm actually working on Tipsy, and I'm adding some gesture detection to it. So instead of it coming to every single person who's in a gathering or in an office, we are trying to make it go to only to the people who are like asking for a drink. So like if you're waving or if you're gesturing in a way that you want the robot to come to you, it will come to you in those instances. So that's what I'm working on right now. So if you want to chat, I'm also available on Discord too. Psychot is saying office hours were very helpful. Received lots of guidance from Nick. Thanks a lot.
Shout out, Nick.
Shout out, Nick. And Matt is asking, I am curious what you use for the Betsy face. So
what kind of screen was that, I guess?
Or like, did you design it? It was so cute.
It was very cute. It's the vibes. The rest of the robot was also very useful too. Great to hear, guys. All right, cool. Hearts emojis.
Yogendran, if you want to answer about the Betsy face, how did you make the Betsy face? What did you use to make it?
Specifically the software, if you can. That's just for some of our friends. Gesture detection. Is there a model for that?
So maybe you go ahead.
Okay, great question.
You sounded so excited.
Currently, there's ways to trick it, but the answer is no. There's object detection, and you can make your own gesture detection model. Is the real truth. You can find some and plug them in with VM, or you can build some with VM. But as far as like built-in gesture, yeah. See, look, this is a yellow V8 one. You can plug that in with a little module. But the answer is that you could build your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now. There is a Drag AI module that allows you to train an ML model without having a lot of photos. So it basically uses AI to generate the photos to train the model. So I took a few photos of myself gesturing as if I'm ordering something, and then I'm using those to train a model to create a gesture detection model. So in progress. I'm curious what you use for the Betsy face. We did receive an answer for that. Nope, it's just a video I found. That is the answer, Matt.
Sometimes the best solutions are the easiest ones.
Yeah.
It's just a video, okay?
And Yogendran also added, thanks for your help, Matt Fella, with the speech modules. So that project was like actually using a lot of the projects that we created within the team, Matt, Nick, Ariel, me. And it's also putting together all of the features that the entire VM engineering team put together. So great demonstration.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of love going around. All right.
Cool.
So,
any last minute questions? Otherwise, this is all from our side.
It's been great having you. Thanks for competing in the VM challenge.
And I sent everybody some feedback forms. So if you have any ideas on how to improve the challenge, we would appreciate critical feedback. Everything's anonymous, so don't worry about it.
We appreciate non-critical feedback too.
Yeah, we appreciate compliments and anything that you love about the challenge. Feel free to send it to us. I also wanted to ask like what everybody's favorite topics around technology right now. So if you were to do this challenge again, what would you like to see? We also are wondering about that. Thanks again for your team. The great docs and tutorials made it very fun to do. Thank you so much for all of the
shout out docs. Shout out
all of the compliments. We love it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Okay, I think we're leaving now.
Cool.
One more. Last one. When can we expect the next challenge?
So we don't have a date yet. We're still going to retro this one. So I don't want to say anything that's wrong in a live stream, but hopefully very, very
smart,
soon.
Smart. TBD. See you soon.
TBD. Bye.
Bye.